Blogging the Boys had a nice article that came out just kind of depicting the discrepancy between talent in the NFC compared to the AFC. And it does feel like there is a sizable difference now, which is nice for the Cowboys being in the NFC. And it makes you a little bit more frustrated, though, as to why they're not going a little bit more all in, because there's not as much in the way of competition in the NFC compared to the AFC. The AFC just stupid loaded, all the great quarterbacks, and I'll break it down for you here. But the NFC, it's like, man, you look, okay, Brady's back with the Bucs. You got Rodgers and the Packers. Okay, very good. The Rams continue to load up, coming off the championship there. Those three teams for sure.
That's it.
But then after that, it's like, it's super, super wide open, and who knows what type of injuries or something can occur to any one of those three teams to kind of knock them down.
Yeah, and that's why Cowboy fans are mad at the Cowboys not having a plan. It's like, wait a minute, it's wide open. Why aren't you doing anything? That's what everybody's mad about.
So the overview here, the NFC, looking at last year, the NFC was equivalent, if not better than the AFC, because you had, of course, the Super Bowl champion Rams, NFC, NFL MVP, NFC, Offensive Player of the Year, NFC, Defensive Rookie of the Year, Micah Parsons, NFC, Assistant Coach of the Year, Dan Quinn, NFC, right? Mm-hmm. And then you look at where AFC teams finished by various metrics last year. The NFC might have been the better conference, and there's some different metrics that you can look at. As to why you would feel that way. But when you see now, it's like, how many guys went from the NFC to the AFC?
Yeah.
Devontae Adams, NFC to AFC. Russell Wilson, NFC to AFC. Amari Cooper,
NFC to AFC.
NFC to AFC. Khalil Mack, NFC to AFC. Robert Woods, NFC to AFC. Matt Ryan, NFC to AFC. Holy smokes. And then even players that could have switched conferences by means of a trade still stayed in the AFC. Tyreek Hill gets traded, but he's still in the AFC. Deshaun Watson, same thing.
By the way, I consider, even though he was only a rental, but he won the Super Bowl, Von Miller went from the NFC to the AFC.
Yeah, 100%.
Rams to the Bills.
Exactly. And I'll get into some of that as well. But the only notable move from AFC to NFC is Carson Wentz, and that's really not much of anything.
Freaking do.
Exactly.
You're going to wind up in a van down by the river.
That's right. And so when you look at the top 10 largest contracts signed so far of the players that changed teams in free agency, you mentioned Von Miller. He's signed with an AFC team. J.C. Jackson, huge contract. Chargers, AFC. Teron Armstead, one of the best tackles in the sport, goes from the Saints in the NFC to the Dolphins in the AFC. Christian Kirk, he signed a huge deal. He's in the AFC.
$22 million.
Randy Gregory went from the NFC to the AFC. Marcus Williams, huge contract safety, goes from the Saints to the Ravens. He's now in the AFC. Chandler Jones, pass rusher.
Yep. Raiders.
Yep.
From the Arizona Cardinals.
Yep.
And even Devontae Adams went from the NFC to the AFC with his $30 million a year.
Brandon Scherf goes from the NFC to the AFC. Allen Robinson is the only one of the big contracts that did stay in the NFC. And so you just see all these different things. By the way,
for those who don't know, from the Bears to the Rams.
Yes. And then the talent discrepancy is none more apparent than at quarterback, because when you look at the 12 quarterbacks and you rank them by EPA, expected points added per play, over the last 2 seasons, you can see how dominant the AFC is here from a quarterback standpoint. Now, Dak's not going to be on this list because it's over the last 2 seasons, and Dak was injured, basically all of the 2021 season, right?
2020 season.
Or the 2020 season, excuse me. So Dak's not on this list. But when you look at all these quarterbacks, over the last 2 years, as they rank them on an EPA basis, expected points added per play basis, notice how many are in the AFC. Okay, Aaron Rodgers, sure, he's in the NFC, yes, but then it's Deshaun Watson, AFC. Pat Mahomes, AFC. Josh Allen, AFC. Then you get to Tom Brady, NFC.
How they rank Deshaun Watson when he didn't play last year in 2021? If they didn't include Dak,
I guess that's a fair question for blogging the boys on this one.
But go ahead.
But you have,
I digress.
You have. So it's Brady and Rodgers in the NFC, and then the rest of these quarterbacks, it's Tannehill,
AFC.
Joe Burrow,
AFC.
Russell Wilson,
AFC.
Derek Carr.
AFC.
I mean, it's all AFC quarterbacks. So it's very evident right now what is the more dominant conference.
I want to take it to teams real quick. I'm going to throw some teams at you, and you tell me if they're better than the Cowboys, or you think they're better than like the best of the NFC, which is Tampa Bay, Green Bay, the Rams. Okay? Kansas City Chiefs. Are they better than those three, and are they better than the Cowboys?
The Chiefs are better than the Cowboys for sure, and they're right in the conversation with those other three teams.
What about Denver?
Denver.
Are they better than the Cowboys?
Better than the Cowboys, and right there in the conversation of the top three in the NFC.
Cincinnati Bengals.
Same thing. Better than the Cowboys.
The Chargers.
Chargers, I would say they are better than the Cowboys, and they haven't proved necessarily that they're going to be that they're in the top three of the NFC if you were looking at it that way, but better than the Cowboys, I would say.
The Raiders, are they better than the Cowboys? By the way, the Raiders won 10 games last year, including beating the Cowboys.
Yeah.
And they've just got a wide receiver and
they just got Chandler Jones and Devontae Adams.
Yes.
And Josh McDaniels.
And Devontae Adams was the roommate in college of Derek Carr.
That's right.
Talk about chemistry. They've been throwing the ball at each other for years.
The Raiders are better than the Cowboys.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to keep going because this is so crazy. Now, I'm not even looking at New England. Buffalo Bills. They're better than the Cowboys.
100%.
Are they in the big three conversation with the Rams?
The Bills
Green
might be
Bay,
the best
and
team
Tampa
in the
Bay?
sport.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Miami Dolphins, the new Miami Dolphins. Now we're projecting.
Yeah.
Are they better than the Cowboys?
It would be, I think they have a better roster. Now Tua is not as good as Dak, and so that's going to be the deciding factor there. And with the rookie head coach, there's too much unknown. But when you just look at on paper the roster, the Dolphins do have a better roster than the Cowboys.
Well, let's keep looking at on paper rosters. Are the Cleveland Browns better than the Dallas Cowboys?
Yes.
Isn't that something? Their defense. I mean, we just look at the defense alone, and then you look at all the weapons. Their running game is legit. Their coach, Stefanski, is a real coach. Their quarterback, if he plays all those games, Deshaun Watson, he's better than Dak. I'm sorry, and I love Dak.
I agree.
Let's go further. Tennessee Titans. Are they better than the Cowboys? We know they're not in those three NFC.
I would say they're probably even.
Coin flip?
Coin flip.
Now, this is really getting interesting. Indianapolis Colts and the Cowboys.
Now with Matt Ryan.
See, that's what I'm saying.
With Matt Ryan, man, the Colts, I might give the nod to the Colts, but that's similar with the Titans where it's probably a coin flip, between them and the Cowboys.
Baltimore Ravens. Better than the Cowboys. Now remember, they fell apart only because Lamar Jackson got hurt.
Yeah, well, and beyond Lamar, they had just injuries all over the place.
Right.
I would say a healthy Baltimore.
They had COVID a lot, too.
Yeah, I think Baltimore is better than the Cowboys.
That's how far the Cowboys are. And seriously, we're assuming the Cowboys are the best of the NFC East. And
they should be. The Eagles are going to give them a run for their money, though.
And here's the wild part. Here's the most crazy stat in the NFL. No team has won the NFC East back-to-back since 2004 when the Eagles did it. We're going on damn near 20 years now, 18 years. Isn't that crazy? So it's not a given that the Cowboys are going to win and repeat, Stephen Jones.
Yeah.
What makes you think the way you broke your team down and standing pat with what you've got and just augmenting it with draft talent is good enough to win the NFC East, and then you get a chance in the playoffs? There's no given that you're going to win the NFC East.
At this point, there's not. Now, you're going to have a massive draft, guys that are ready to play immediately and
Eagles
make an
got
impact.
A lot of draft picks this year.
Yeah, Eagles have a ton. I mean, but that's what you're banking on. That's what the Cowboys have been banking on for the last 5 years. Is just we have to hit a home run in the draft, and then maybe we'll make a cool Robert Quinn or Amari Cooper trade.
Or the Band-Aids.
Yeah.
You find these guys in the second week, and J-Ron, Kurz, and guys like that nobody thought would be able to help you. They're not superstars, but they turned out to be good enough to help Dan Quinn.
Right.
It's just,